Okay, so 2 grinder disc, well, this is second one here, so 1.5 later, I ground the front end back off. This actually did pretty good, so I never touched the frame here when I ground it off. I did have to cut a little bit there. I just cut through here, a little bit of grinding, good as new. Now I gotta, actually I should weld the front here, and then I gotta cut this corner right off here. And then the front end, which you can see right here, is actually pretty warm. So you can see I never cut any of the bracket that actually mattered. So you can see I just cut through the weld. Now this is going to be mounted. I guess it'll end up being like this. So kind of hard holding it with this hand here, but actually I think I'm going to go kind of like that. So that way I put in half the bracket will be reinforced onto the frame. So end up being like that. Okay, so that's how my new one's going to sit. You can see from there to it used to be over there, that's about a 6-inch gain in height. Roughly 6 inches, maybe 4 inches, but that will give me the perfect height. Now, yeah, that bolt's coming out of there, even though I could technically leave it in there. But I'm going to take a piece of angle iron or plate steel and just weld a piece of plate steel from here straight across. Angle iron I think would be best because I can flatten out angle iron to get the exact degree. So that's going to give me my front end. You can see I put a piece of the 2x1 blocking in there. And I'm going right to the front of the tractor with it because my front top A-arms, control arms, should almost butt together in the center here. So I'll be able to make them so they're adjustable for in and out for the height. And once I get it where I want, I can always weld it in place. So right now this should pop out, yep. So I just use that as a temporary, a little bit warm. Just a temporary guide to get my distance. So now I can fill the center up with weld in between there and then weld something across the end. Yeah, I'm overbuilding it. I just got it tacked on the bottom right there for now. As for my degrees, well, I have no idea. I didn't even measure it. So, because I know I can do all the adjustments needed with the top one. When I go to weld on the second one, yeah, I'm going to, you know, lay the tractor flat on the ground, kind of measure from here to the top, kind of, you know what I mean. I'll try to measure from here. I'll put a 2x4, actually how I'll do it, I'll put a 2x4 across here, across both of those nuts, and that'll give me the distance that I gotta go from here to here. So second one shouldn't be that big of a deal. Of course I'm gonna hope not to have a crooked front end, but I guess you never know. So anyway, I guess I'll weld this in place and show you it when it's done. Well, that's where it's gonna have to stay for today. Out of wire. 2 pounds of wire gone. So I knew I should have got a bigger roll, but whatever. I expected to use about 2 of these, and by the looks of it, by the time I'm done this, I'll probably end up using close to 3 of them. So yeah, so that's what was it, 20 bucks so far in welding wire. That's not that bad, I guess. So because I was expecting to have to buy two of them, maybe 3, I guess. So yeah, whatever. Okay, so I got my front A arms. This side's almost fully welded up. Still got to kind of patch around in that area. This side's just really closely tacked, and I just measured from the tip of the ball joint up to the 2x4. Same thing on the bottom here. Then I stuck the 2x4 in the front here and measured the same thing. Distance between here and there. So it's going to be pretty decent. It's not going to be a 100%, but like I said, I can make up for any little tweaks when I get, you know, my top ones mounted. I can also put in spacers if I need to in the ball joints to adjust it, but I'd rather get adjustable ball joints for the top. So just by using different spacers, shit like that. Anyway, time to weld her solid. Okay, so I got the front end kind of mocked up the way I'm going to do the front here. I'm going to put some 1x1 square tubing over top this too. Of course, I got to reposition this a little bit more, get proper alignment. Then I'm going to weld some 1x1 in between here, and then another piece between here. And sure, old man, make some noise there, hey? Anyway, yeah, as you can see, kind of getting it put together, so slowly anyway, but haven't had much time this week really to dick with it, so have to be all on Saturday and Sunday. So anyway, you can see I gotta still align to one side a little bit better. This one here has too much of that. This one here is not as bad. So I got to cut down that center bar. Actually, this one here, I just need to push it in, and it might be good. So got to kind of play around with it and see. Okay, so I got my parts here all sandblasted up there and ready to be installed. I'll clamp it in place and kind of show how it's going to look before I mount it. Okay, so there we go. Ready to be welded together. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so that's how much I got done for today. I don't know how well that's showing up there, but I got the plate welded there all together. I still got to flip it to the bottom side. So, and I quickly filled these in. There's gaps there before. I'm going to fill in the end caps here, the end caps here. So I got quite a bit more to do, but that's it for today. Sweet. Anyway, I know if I don't show this, I'm going to have some questions about my angles of the front tires. So you can see right there, yes, I do have them on an angle, just the way it should be. I don't have tie rod ends or anything hooked up, so it's kind of hard to see there. But I got them on a slight angle, the way they should be. So anyway, just thought I'd kind of toss that in the video a bit. Yeah, I know my welds I was in a hurry welding it up, so I still got to do it from the bottom side. But again, doesn't need to look the prettiest as long as it's strong. I am going to be welding in some bars from here to the bottom of there on an angle, or I might just go little stubs in here. Oops. Not too sure yet, kind of got to decide. And of course I want to cap off those beams, put caps on the ends of them. Otherwise they'll rot out, fill up with water, shit like that. And of course wire it, brush it all down, paint it proper. So just got to see how far I can move the dash up. So I know, putting in a V-twin, normally you think you'd want to move the dash back to gain extra room for the motor, but in this case don't think I'm really going to have to. I was thinking of running a clutch torque converter, so then yeah, it makes sense to move the dash back even more that way. Even though the seat is pretty well at a stock location, the rear tires are back about 6 inches. So anyway, I got to kind of think around in my head how I want to do this and go from there. Okay, so I'm back to working on the tractor here. I'm just getting ready to gut my dash bracket here, take off what I'm not using, which is any of the wiring. I was thinking, you know, I can make this into an e-brake because I'll have the hydraulic braking for the front. So e-brake for the mechanical brake on the back, but I'm thinking I might go to a hydraulic brake on the back, hydraulic brakes on the front, and then have a proportioning valve like a Polaris quad has. So it gives you like 60 to the front, 40% to the back. And that way I just have one brake pedal, and man, this thing would stop pretty quick. So maybe a little too quick. It might actually throw you into the freaking handlebars. So I have to kind of think about that. So I'm just getting ready to put the dash in place just to kind of see what kind of clearance issues I have. As you can see, my hood brackets used to be, the hood used to stop here. Now the hood's going to go up to there. I'm kind of looking at this, deciding where I want to mount this, like how much more forward. So right there is going to be about 3 inches more forward than it used to be. So I think so anyway. Nope, that's actually pretty much where it used to be. So I'm planning to mount it at least an inch or two more forward than it used to be. So I got to kind of decide if I bring actually this bolt right to here, it might end up being fine. Yes, I will be getting rid of some room for the engine to fit, but I don't need this entire tray here, so I'm going to be cutting this across here to make room for the engine. The reason why I want to move the dash up is knee room. My knees hit the dash, and if you're off-roading and your knees smack the dash, that might hurt. Simple enough. It might equal pain. Okay, so I decided to do a quick dry fit of the dash and hood. Now, I'm not going to mount anything in place yet because I don't have my motor yet, and I don't know what kind of clearance I'm going to have from my motor. So yeah, just kind of thought I'd show a look at how it looks. You can see here how nice this lines up. Right with that beam right in the corner there. So that looks pretty damn good. So kind of gives a little bit where it kind of just sticks out the front, the beams. Pretty much exactly how I want it. So Yeah. So the dash itself is moved. It's kind of crooked right now, but I got to straighten it. It's moved down almost I say about 2 inches down and about 1.5 inches forward. So, because the hood right here used to mount up in there, so yeah, I guess that it's moved forward about, I guess, 2 inches maybe. So, which is nice because then you can't really tell that I extended the frame. So, and of course, with those big ass tires, it actually looks pretty good right dead center of the tires. So anyway, and plenty of clearance for them to turn here. Of course, I don't have my tire rods or anything in place yet. So anyway, I think I'm just going to pretty much clean up for today, and that's going to be it. Sweet.